This is a picture of the upcoming release of the Nike Air Jordan 5 Oregon. This is a picture of the promotional materials from the Nike Air Jordan 5 Oregon Ducks. And this right here is an actual pair of the Air Jordan 5 Oregon Ducks in hand. And I've got that picture because I know the guy that owns them. That's one of the rarest shoes out there. It's a grail for many people. Anything with the Oregon Ducks is great, but the Air Jordan 5s are absolutely iconic. I also love the Air Jordan 14 Greys, which are these right here. There's a green variant to those as well, but I actually prefer the Greys, which are slightly less rare, but I think they're slightly more cooler. But we're not talking about that today. We're not looking at the 14s today. What we're looking at is the 5s, because on September the 12th, which is in about 2 weeks' time, the Jordan line are coming out with that Oregon colorway. And it's been talked about for a long time. It's the 30th anniversary of the 5s this year, and it's one of the most iconic colorways there has ever been. Very rare, and they've done a really good job of making sure that they maintain the tradition of the color and the actual essence, the spirit of that original Oregon Ducks 5, but they've changed it enough so that if you're holding on to a pair of those 5s, if you've got the OGs, if you've taken the time to hunt them down and got a grail in your hand, this upcoming release isn't going to change that. It's not like a general release to something that was a really limited release previously. It's not going to affect, I don't think, the resale price on the Ducks 5s, but it might even push it up a little bit. So it's a great job from the Jordan line. It's a great job from the Oregon Ducks even. And it's just a brilliant looking sneaker. A great addition to the Jordan line. So without further ado, let's get into this. On the 30th anniversary year of the Nike Air Jordan 5s, let's take a look at the upcoming release of the Oregon colorway. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel des. Mainichi Yapsuru no de Mainichi Mite Kudasai. Every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And there's a little thing that goes on in my world. It's just after midnight on Wednesday night now, and I usually shoot my content in the middle of the night once my family's all asleep and stuff like that. But every so often, my little girl wakes up and I have to duck out of a video. And usually when that happens, what I do is I leave in that little bit that I've run away to go make sure she goes back to sleep, and then come back into the video. I don't try and edit it out in a creative way. And there she is, on cue. So I won't edit this out in a creative way. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Hello. It's going to take a miracle for this video to get made, I absolutely guarantee it. I think I was going for about 10 minutes there. I would have shrunk that down to a little sort of fast forward of green screen for you guys. And what I was saying was so ironic, because I was saying that my little girl woke up just at the point where I was saying, this is the shoe we're looking at today, and then cut to the title screen. So it's great, you know, nobody needs to know that I ran away to put her down. And then within like a minute of me saying, how lucky was I, turns out she wakes up again. So it took me 10 minutes to get her down again. If it takes that long to get her down, usually that means she's going to wake up again. So I don't fancy my chances of getting this video finished, but I'm going to try. 600 plus consecutive days on YouTube. I haven't missed a single day. Seriously, not a single day. Not even like a little break for a sickness or a holiday or anything like that. The only holiday I did take, I front loaded the videos and had them all scheduled to go, so I didn't miss a single day. But, you know, shooting in the middle of the night, little girl waking up, times are a-changing. So so let's get into this shoe. What I already showed you guys at the very start of this video is the Oregon Ducks. No, actually no, it's the Oregons, the upcoming release of the Air Jordan 5 Oregons, and then the picture of the Oregon Ducks 5s, and then actually the in hand, like the authentic pair of the Oregon Ducks 5s. And I didn't get a chance to tell you about that authentic pair, an actual pair, because this right here is the butter movement, which is where my channel sort of grew out of, and it was a big thing on YouTube in 2016-17. And the guy Shoe Butter who ran that, he was the sort of top guy, the #1 on the butter movement. He has a massive and very rare sneaker collection, and in it he has a pair of the Oregon Ducks 5s. And they're a beautiful shoe. He did a video for us for my channel, and he's looked at the shoe when he had his own channel before as well. And great to be able to see that. It's such a rare shoe. It's a beautiful shoe. And like I say, I think they've done a really great job of staying true to that shoe, but then changing enough of it so that this particular colorway isn't going to be seen as, you know, Oregon Ducks 5s light. It's not going to be like that, and it's equally not too close to the original that people who have the original are going to be disappointed. So so let's get into it and look at the details on the shoe and the differences and the similarities. I'm going to start with the two major similarities on this shoe. The number one is it's an all green upper. That's very, very obvious and beautiful, beautiful suede. I think I've got a good picture of the suede. Hopefully you can look at that and get an idea of how smooth that is and how silky that upper is going to be on these guys. And then the other place is those shark's teeth around the side of the 5s, very signature feature of them, and done in yellow, just like the OGs were done in yellow. I was wondering if they play around with this, put some spatter in there, for example. That's not unusual to see a little bit of spatter in the shark's teeth of 5s, but they stayed true to the original. So you've got the basic shoe, the basic green upper and those yellow shark's teeth on the side, pretty much the basic shoe. So you're thinking, okay, it's a copy, but it's not. There's enough details on it to make it different. Now the two major differences are in the actual construction of the shoe, but then there's also a bunch of differences in the colorway. So we'll go with the construction first, and the two major differences are up on the tongue. So zooming in on the Ducks, you can see a big O for Oregon. I think it's Oregon State is the name of the university the Ducks play at. I'm not at all up to speed with American college sports and things like that, so if I'm getting that wrong, please let me apologize. But there's a big O up there for Oregon, and that's been flipped down. Now the colors are the same. It's basically a black tongue up above. It gets different down below in the lacing system, but up above it's basically a black tongue, and instead of having an O there in black again on the black tongue, you've got a black jump man. So it's a very clean swap out, but it's a very clear swap out to take out that major piece of branding on the top there. And then the really big piece of branding on the originals is on the heel, and I'll be showing you something here to see that duck on the heel of these guys, and it's a great feature, of course, and you can't have an Oregon Ducks shoe without the duck in there somewhere. And of course, for this upcoming release, which is just the Oregons, the Nike Air Jordan 5 Oregon. There's nothing about the Ducks in them, and they've changed it now. Before I bring it up to show you what they've put on there, you might already know this. I'm sure they thought about this carefully. They could have put a Jumpman on there, they could have put Nike Air on there, they could have put anything they wanted on there, but instead when they took out the duck, what they put on instead was this stitched on panel here, and I think that's cool. I think that's actually a really neat feature. Instead of going with something standard, they've gone with something a little bit different, a little bit cool, and the big stitching around the outside edge of that panel as well, I think is very, very nice. I'm glad they did it this way. They could have, like I said, done it a Jumpman, they could have done it Nike Air, they could have done something with a duck or some kind of feature or picture on there, but instead going with the panel I think is a good choice as far as these shoes are concerned. So they're the two major structural differences between the originals and these guys, like I say, coming out on September the 12th, not too far away. But colorway wise, there's a major difference if you look from the lateral side. So again, we'll bring up the Ducks first, and you can see that green suede, you can see that yellow shark's teeth down there below. But the major two differences are on the midfoot, that classic panel on the side of the 5s. A little bit of an echo of the 4s, but different enough to be unique in their own right. But on I think I'm right in saying on the Oregon Ducks, they were grey, but what they've done is they flipped that out to black on the Oregons. And then if we go up from that and onto the lacing system, the actual lacing panels, there's a couple of little places where the eyelets were green on the original OG Ducks, but they flipped that out to black as well. And then even higher up than that, on the OGs, the lace lock was just a transparent, clear material. But again, flip that out to black on the lace lock. So it's three major changes on the lateral side of the shoe in terms of the colorway. But it doesn't detract. If I bring back the originals, and you can see the green on the laces, you can see the grey on that midfoot there, and then the clear, transparent lace lock. And then we flip that back to the upcoming release, the Oregons, and you see that's now been transferred out to black. It still works. Which I think is cool. Like I said, I think it's really important that this shoe has its own identity while still, a little nod to the OGs without overriding them or sort of stealing too much from them. So changing these little bits out gives this shoe its own identity. It makes it its own thing, and I think they've done a really, really good job on that. So, so for me, it's a really big yes. A really big yes. I've been pretty critical of the 5s this year. I was not at all a fan of the top 3s. I thought they were very gimmicky. Not huge fan of what they've been doing with the grape line. just not feeling the Bel Air stuff from the Fresh Prince of Bel Air and things. So they're just, I don't know, they're just not quite getting it right. It's not as drastic as the 4s last year. Some of the 4s last year were just plain horrible. But this year, the 5s, they're close, but they aren't really hitting the mark. But in the case of these guys here, I think they've hit the mark full on, and it's a risk. It's a risk doing a shoe like this, taking an iconic shoe, changing it, but still managing to put out something that people are going to enjoy and people are going to respect in its own right, and not just as a sort of homage to the original shoe. So for me, it's all a big yes. Definitely a great shoe for the upcoming release. You know, like I say, in a couple of weeks' time, September 12th, that's due to come. And if nothing else, go check out that video. I would have linked it somewhere in the cards, you know, up above here, the actual in-hand look at that shoe, because it's 2 minutes of shoe butter talking about his beautiful, amazing collection, and one of the rarest shoes in the world. And I'm sure in the links I'll have put up the Jordan 14 Ducks as well, which you can check out. Another beautiful shoe. For now though, time for me to sign off. The little girl didn't interrupt us again, so thank you very much to her for that. But I need to get off and get this video sort of uploaded and things like that. So thank you guys for checking out the content, and I'll do what I do every single day, which is tell you that I will see you tomorrow.